Good morning, happy Sunday to you all, happy Mother's Day to all the mums that are watching in the UK, because I know it's not the same Mother's Day as it is for elsewhere, but happy Mother's Day. I hope you're all being pampered. Perhaps you're watching us in bed whilst having breakfast in bed. Just don't worry about all the crumbs, someone else can clear that up later for you. So we have a fan-packed day. There's lots of fans. A fun-packed day for you today. We're going to be looking at all sorts of different flower-forming foam. We are going to be looking at, what else we're going to be looking at? Can't think what all the other bits and pieces that we're going to be having on the show. We've also got Second Chance Sunday later on, and we've got some amazing deals for you. Speaking of deals, you may have noticed on the website we have the bag grab event. This is not to be confused with grab bag, which we kept saying by accident. It's bag grab. So if you have a look at the website, you will see there's a picture of Lily. You just click on that and you're able to create your own goodie bags. So it gives you the opportunity to pop in what you really need and what you've not got out of your collections. There's 3 different types. One is any 3 pens for £20 or $30. The next one is any 15 stamps for £40 or $50, and any 10 die sets for £60 or $70. And that really does represent a huge saving. If you have a look on there, some of those die sets are over £20, so you can really make a huge saving on that. Also today, just today only, it will be double points, and that's to celebrate Mother's Day, and that ends at midnight tonight, as do those bag grab deals as well. So do make sure you have a look at those before you, before you purchase anything. Make sure you can stuff those bags with all the goodies that you need. I'm not going to be here on my own, thank goodness, because I think you've had enough of me, because I've been on here 3 days in a row. I have the lovely Corrine with me. Good morning, Corrine.
Good morning. I'm just getting all my flowers ready. I'm just getting all my stamens ready, and we're going to be doing lots of things flower forming this morning. So yes, we have got lots and lots of flower forming, and then I'm really excited because we have got a brilliant first look for you at 2 p.m. so that's going to be a bit exciting. We'll save a bit more about that later, and then we've got, as Becky said, our Second Chance Sunday later. So really good day. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be really good, and Becky and I are just going to have such a laugh, so it's going to be really good.
And do you know what I've deliberately done? I've not looked at the first look, which I see is just down there, corner of my eye. So it's going to be a true first look for me.
Brilliant.
So because I can see, I heard what it is. I know what it was going to be about.
You know the theme?
I know the theme, but I've kept it as a surprise for myself, because I like a little surprise on Sunday. And as I'm not at home, I'm not getting any Mother's Day surprises. But maybe we'll be having flowers delivered for us later on today. I did mention that to my husband on the phone this morning, and he just laughed. Lots of people are here to say hello. We've got Gail says good morning everyone, looking forward to watching the show. Sarah Brown says hello and good day to you all. Hope you enjoy all well, and sending you love from Melbourne, Australia. Georgianne says, hi, Becky, Corrine from Clearwater, Florida. We're in for some beautiful flowers. You absolutely are. Gareth Dobbs says, good morning, everyone. Lois says, good morning, everyone from Ohio. Lynn Farthing says, happy Mother's Day to all. Jerry Johnson says, good morning from Southern Maryland. Hello, Corrine, Becky and the crew. Happy Mother's Day to all of the UK mums. Rachel also is on the social media for us. And she said, I love your top or dress, Becky. I want one. It's very old. Well, not very old, a couple of years old. But I feel like I am channeling Little House on the Prairie today. I feel like I'm a bit of a Laura Ingalls kind of person today. Let us know what you're getting up to today. Are you going out for Mother's Day? Have you already had your Mother's Day plans? Or if it's not Mother's Day for you, or you're not celebrating it, what are you doing instead? If it's another lovely weather? I have to say, this morning I woke up and it was such beautiful sunshine that I thought I'd overslept. And I jumped out of bed thinking, oh my goodness, I'm late. And it was 5 to 7. So as Corrine said, you were up early. Yes, I was. always up early, aren't I?
Yes,
Let's be honest,
you are
yeah.
always up early, but not normally
Not
that early.
Not that
I was
early.
like, oh, I was going to get up early and wash my hair. Becky's already up. I was quite surprised.
I think that was the worry, because I couldn't hear you, and I was thinking, well, maybe she's already gone to work. But then you would have knocked on the door.
I think I'd have knocked on the door and said, Becky, it's time to get up.
I would have come in looking at this. So what we're going to be showing you today in Masterclass is all about your flower forming foam and your flower forming dyes. And we've got a fantastic collection for you here today. Lots of different types of flowers. We've got foliage in there as well, and pine cones. You've got all the ivies, as well as lots and lots of different flowers. And obviously making them in different ways, you can get a different idea for them. So this collection here, you've got plenty in that collection. Basically anything that you could possibly want to make out of flowers, flower forming foam, you'll be able to find in this collection here. To show you a little bit better, here are some of the boards, so you can see what they look like, so what the dyes look like and what the finished flowers will look like as well. So this one is your pine cone, but as you can see, by putting it into different colours, they almost make a kind of primrose looking design there. That's your autumn leaves. Really beautiful, and obviously using those in the autumnal colours, that works, but actually using them in other kinds of colours as well will work too. Then we've got bewitching blooms, making those really pretty little designs, using some of those stamens there to finish those off. This next one here is your perfect peony. And again, you get a fantastic kind of a 3D effect by using these dyes. But of course, you can use them as more of a flat kind of way. You don't have to just use them with the foam. This next one is your beautiful blossom. Very pretty there as well. We've also got the hydrangea. Hydrangea. Very pretty there. Now this one is your wisteria one. It's a little bit squashed, but you will see, I think we've got wisteria on some of the demos, haven't we?
I have.
How incredible that does look. So it's been a little bit squashed because it's been in the box, but I'll fluff that up in between the shows. But that makes a really beautiful flower in there. You've got your regal rose.
I love how you get your reusable templates with these as well. So if you want to go bigger, you can just use the templates.
You can go large.
You can go large.
Fantastic. Then we have your ivy. Here again, you know, a little bit flattened here, but you can see that effect by using all those different ivy shapes. And then finally, you've got a foliage one as well. And I think it looks really lovely, great for any time of the year, but works particularly well for Christmas. So the collection for this is £50, $65. The platinum price is £40 or $52. You're getting all of these. I haven't got a board for this one, but I'll show you. This is your peony.
Clover.
Clover. I knew I was going to get that wrong. You'll also be getting in that as well. So you've seen all those boards. We don't have a board for that one. But that's a huge saving that you're getting there. Lots and lots of different dyes in there. You'll be able to use them for all sorts of different things, home decor as well as all your paper craft. And Corinne, you're going to show us what we're going to be doing with this, aren't you?
So I'm going to start off with the Regal Rose. Now, what you have to remember is, when we have our dyes, we have to name them something. But please don't get hung up on the name of the dye. The dye is just there so that we can tell you it's this dye or that dye. The flowers can be however you want them. And if you can go into flower making with that thought process in your head, then you're just going to have the most amazing effects. Now, we're going to do quite a lot today with foam. So I've got some foam. Now, there's a foam bundle, and Becky will talk you through it in a minute. But this is my favourite. I love white foam. And I love white foam because you can then make it whatever colour you want it to be. So I just find it the most versatile. So it's in the bundle, but I would be saying top up and get even more of the white. So what I'm going to do, now, our dyes will cut through 4 or 6 layers of the foam, no problem. But I've just folded it in half, and I've just put it into the folder for my mini, just to show you how easy it is. So you can see they're just there, and then I can run that through. Now, I tend not to go too many layers. As I said, you can go through a lot more layers, but you then spend ages trying to separate the layers.
Yep.
And that was so quick, look, that and even that much pressure is quite sealed them together, but look at that. There we go. Absolutely perfect. I've just got 4 flowers at the pass of my, you know, single pass of my die cutting machine, which is brilliant. And like I say, it's your mini, so it works so well. But then I think the magic comes when you start to add some colour. So I'm just going to go with my water reactives, and I've got my fuchsia and my lemon tonic, 2 really perfect flower ones. So I'm just going to get my finger dauber and I'm just going to go in the middle with the lemon tonic, just to put that in the centre. Now just remember, if you're thinking apple blossom, cherry blossom, even a daisy, they're not all white. You think to yourself, oh, you might go a daisy's white. Well, it's not actually. It's often got green tinge to it, or a pink tinge to it. So just remember that when you're doing these, that, you know, very few flowers are actually white. So all I'm doing is I'm putting some ink on the ends. And again, I'm not worrying too much where that ink goes, because we're going to be shaping these. And when we do our shaping in a minute, that's going to blend the ink. Now, I put yellow on one side, but I put pink on both, and that's very deliberate because I'm going to be making 3D flowers. And when I make my 3D flowers, the last thing I want is the white of the reverse to be upwards, and, you know, and you're thinking, I've got all that beautiful ink colouring, but then I've got, you know, white on the back. So all I do is I put the yellow of the centre on the one side, which is going to be facing up, but then the pink or whatever colour you're going to be doing around the edge. If somebody's favourite colour is blue, then go for it and use blue. If it's purple, use purple. It's entirely up to you. And you're going to get lots of different looks how you do them. Now, we could then just start layering these up, and they're going to look really, really pretty. But they're very flat, aren't they? They're totally flat. So what I've got here is I've got my little craft iron, and this is mine from home, and I absolutely love it because it works so well. And all I'm going to do is I've got my ball tools, a couple of my ball tools, and the shaping mat that you get. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this face side down onto there. I'm going to get one of my ball tools, and I'm just going to roll it in. There we go, and that's now just, can you see, shaped it?
Yeah, it's so clever, isn't it?
So clever. That ball tool, it's not mine. Right, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold those petals up. Now, just be careful how long you leave it on the craft iron for, because your foam will shrink. And the longer you leave it on there, the more it's going to shrink. Right. So if you don't want it to shrink much, then and the only reason I'm putting it on here is to soften it up. See, that one I whip off quite quickly, because I'm not using the iron for the shape. I'm using the iron to warm it up and make it softer, to make it easier to shape. And then all I'm doing, putting all the petals together and then just rounding them. And sometimes just make sure your fingers are a little bit down, and then go backwards and forwards. And what we're doing is we're blending that ink. So you know that ink that I put on really flat? Yeah. It's now going to be nicely blended. If you want to, I'm going to do flowers where I am just using the shape from the iron, but not for this. I just wanted to show you. But I'm also going to do some where I just heat them with the heat of my hand, just to show you there's lots of different ways. Let me just do another one, because I do like a lot of petals.
And what temperature is the iron at?
I've got it on quite high.
Right, okay.
Quite high. Now, if you want to use your own, your domestic iron, then go for it. You might get a little bit of ink on it, so just wipe it clean when it's cold. If you can get an iron that's dedicated, and I mean the iron we usually have must be in the other studio in here.
I put it in the, it's in the cupboard.
It's in the cupboard. Oh, well, very organised. The iron that we use in here is actually just a domestic iron, but we keep it for, you know, in here for as you've seen, for Becky for sewing, and obviously for, you know, making our flowers. So it's, you know, you don't need a special iron. It's just that one's the one out of my craft room. Now this one you see is a bit larger, and I just use the templates. Now there aren't the templates in the box is here, but you just saw the shape of the template, so I just drew onto the foam and then cut out one of the larger ones. And then all I'm going to do, and I'm just going to use the heat from my hand just to rub over that ball tool. Just, can you see it just stretching it? If I've got the larger, let's go, there's an even bigger ball tool on that one. Just use the heat from my thumbs just to shape it. And I'm being careful to shape near the base, not at the top, because I've added that shape in.
Okay.
Let's open up another one.
It makes them look so realistic, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? But
manipulating them.
this is Regal Rose, but it's probably not going to look like a rose per se. I think this looks a bit more peony-esque when I finish the one that I've made.
Almost like magnolia.
Yeah, magnolia, yeah, with the colouring. But no one's going to go, you used a Regal Rose dye. It doesn't look like a rose. All they're just going to say is, isn't that a beautiful flower?
Yes.
You know where I'm coming from? It's, you know, it's just enjoy making the flowers. So this is one of the smaller ones. There we go. And then I've got there a couple of smaller ones. And I do like using the smaller ones as fillers as well. Let me use this last one. And then we can do that. So once I've got them to there, what I'm going to do then, now, hot glue gun is your absolute best friend when you're making flowers, because you can use like your all-purpose, and you could even use your tacky glue. But if you use tacky glue and you try to shape, tacky glue takes time to set. So by the time the glue has dried, that shape has come undone. So if I was to make a flower, like I've done here, this is where we're aiming to get at, I could then use tacky glue to apply those to the card. That would work because they're already shaped. But for shaping purposes, hot glue gun is absolutely your best friend. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue in the centre there. Just remember, because it's hot, it will try and shape the foam as well. So we can then pop one in the centre. I'm not doing any shaping at this point. Then I'm going to go in with another little bit. And you can see the smallest amount of glue. You really do want such a small amount. Then the second one, I'm actually just going to go in with another layer. I don't need that one. And I'm going to put a tiny one in the centre. Once I've got to there and I'm happy, I'm going to bring in my mat, find the right size ball tool, and then gently press. So what I'm doing is I'm letting that glue dry, and it's shaping around the ball tool, and it's also flattening that glue so that I've not got big chunks. I've seen people make flowers and they've ended up with the biggest chunks of glue at the bottom, and they don't look too good. Pokey tool is another good tool for it. You don't need anything fancy, and I'm going to go straight through the centre. And then we've got some stamen bundles, and all I've done is I've taken some of the stamens, folded it in half, and wrapped a piece of floristry wire around. You actually get wire around your stamens. Straighten that out and use that if you want to. Pull that through. Now when I was taught to make flowers, I was always taught that depending on what the flower is, but the majority of flowers, the more stamens you have, the better it's going to look. So I've got through as many as I can. You'll do most of your shaping afterwards, and I'm not going to pull those stamens too far through. And then I'm going to pop the smallest little bit of glue around the back. You want your hot glue gun really hot, and it's going to be the best. And then when that's, just leave that to cool. And when that's cooled, I've just trimmed it off. Can you see? Just trimmed off. And then we've got those. So there we go. Right, so those are going to be the flowers to go on my card. I've already made some of the ivy, and I'm going to show you how to do the ivy in another project, because I think this has become one of my all-time favourite ones, if you make it out of foam and then use your craft iron to melt it. But I'll show you that one in a minute.
Terry Anderson actually had a question about the ivy. She said she loves the ivy and how it embosses. However, when I add heat, the embossing disappears. Is my iron, am I overheating it? Right,
you're heating it in the wrong place, in my opinion.
Okay.
And I've got a whole project just using the ivy. So if you can bear with me till we get to there, so that we have time to get to it, I will show you. But I don't heat the whole thing. I only heat the edges, and I will show you in a minute. Just my personal opinion, but I think I found it really works. Okay, now I'm going on to our foliage dies. So you've got these. So you've got these lovely foliage elements, and again, they're not just for foam. Work beautifully in foam, but we're going to use them now on just some multi-purpose card, because one of the things I love to do is mix textures when I'm making a project. So what we're going to do is we're going to give the effect now of embossing. So why not use these to make emboss? What did I just drop down? Oh, it's just a die I don't need. I've just dropped something. Felt it fall. There we go. So there we are. So you can take those there, and look at that. Multi-purpose, 300 GSM. It's cut them absolutely brilliantly. Where did that other die go? I've lost it. Where did it go? I can't see it.
Is it on the floor?
No, it was right on the edge. It was right on the edge. There we go. I will drop plenty more before the day's over. Right, now what I've done here is I have just drawn a couple of circles onto some white card. And then I'm going to get my foliage and I'm going to get some tacky glue and I'm going to put a little bit of tacky glue on the back of here. And then I'm just going to randomly put these on to the circle. But you'll see they're going out the edge of the circle because the circle is where I'm going to be finished with.
Okay.
There we go. And then that one's going to come here. I've got a few more that I've cut. And then we're going to pop and just make sure that presses down. Now, with this, when I did mine, I didn't leave mine to dry long enough because what I then did was I then overlaid the die that I've drawn round over the top. You need to give it plenty of time to dry.
Okay.
Take that bit, just all over. Then I'm going to take one, let's trim it down and go to there. And then come onto here. So this is all going to just bring everything in. So can you see what I've done is I'm basically filling that centre up. And I can even use this little one that I cut the end off. As long as I use it in the right place. If I use it that way round, there you go, you'll never see just to do. Now what I would then do is put that circle die where I've drawn that line and cut it out.
Okay.
But for speed, because I haven't got the die with me, I'm just going to cut on here. And also it's not dry. So you can see what I'm now doing. Oh, you see, it's already lifting a little bit there. You really want to just put this to one side for a few minutes to dry. So what we can now do is cut that off there. There we go. And can you see now, it looks like we've used an embossing folder to create that. So we can then make our foliage match our, you know, whatever we're doing. And then all I would do is I would then just get some of my ink, the same ink that I've used in my flowers, and then I would just ink around the edges.
That's a great idea. Never thought about using the dyes like that.
Oh, I've done it quite a few times because it really means you can make it all tie in.
Yeah.
I love doing that. So now, again, like I say, it looks like we've embossed on there. And I've also done the bigger one, just like that.
Lovely.
Looks really pretty, doesn't it?
Yeah, really nice.
So I have got a card base, just a random size. So we've got it there. And then I've got some pink card because it matched the pink that I was doing. So I'm going to put one on top of the other. There we go. Now, I'm not going to go in for lots of mats and layers on this because nearly upside down. I don't need it because I'm going to put some pretty flowers on the front. So we can pop that one on there. Now, I have actually put myself some gems on here already because I know where everything's going to go, just to be a little bit organised.
I love gems on a card.
Oh, just lifts it, doesn't it? I know we all talk about white space, but sometimes your white space just needs a little bit of something, doesn't it? So we can put that on there. And then I'm going to come in with these. So I'm going to go in here. Oh, I used one of our A4 textured embossing folders. Doesn't that look lovely? Because it's all
really good,
to go with the foliage.
Yep.
I've then exactly the same inks, just done a little bit of... I've done lots of shows like this recently where we've used a mixed media.
Yep.
So let's put those on. So that's one. There we go. That's going to go just there. Then the second one, like I say, lots of nice texture, just works. When I did this, I cut the circle first and then embossed, as we always talk about, because you get a much, you know, otherwise you're flattening your embossing down. Let's then just take foam pads off the back of here, start adding dimension.
I really like those colours together.
Yes.
What's the green?
They're
Is that
like a real...
grasshopper? Is that grasshopper, the green?
It is, yes.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I know that.
There you go, you've been around us long enough. Now I've put 2 foam pads on that side, 1 foam pad on that side, because I've got 1 foam pad on there. So what I want to do is I want to lay that one to go over the top, just like that.
Yep.
So that's my background. I think actually that could
lovely
look,
as it is,
could look
yeah.
quite nice. So then I'm just going to get my flowers and I'm going to pop some glue on the back. As I said, you could use tacky glue at this time, but I do find the hot glue works best. So we can put that one on there. I got myself some more glue sticks because I could see that was getting low. And then I'm going to get my second one and I'm going to pop that onto here. And then that's going to slide in there. And I do think your flowers look nice when you sort of, can you see, really cluster them up together. And the other thing I've got is I've got some of the ones that you almost like partially made, and I use those almost like, put a little bit of glue on and drop that in little fillers to add like buds. So you don't, you know, you don't even need to properly make up all your flowers if you don't want to. Use them as little fillers and buds. Now, everything looks really nice, but those flowers are just floating. So watch once we then start going in with a little bit of the foliage. Let's come in, that's a larger one, so I'm going to pop that one in on that side, on there, and then I'm going to pop this little one just down here. That's going to go just there, tucking it in, but also using the glue to help you with the shaping, because the glue will, you know, dry fast, and you know, you can get lovely shaping in there. Then tuck that on. Can you see straight away now those flowers just look...
It's anchored them onto
there
the
it does.
card, yeah.
So the last little bit I thought I might do is grab a couple of these to make it all tie in, and then can you see how perfect it looks just to add in the extra little bits. And I don't think cards like this, I know I put a couple of gems on, but they don't need ribbons and bows and things like that. And you'll also see that when I'm putting this foliage, I'm going to do one more. When I'm putting this foliage on, I only put the glue right at the tip. We don't need, I want the rest of it to be sort of free flowing. And that is how I would use the Regal Rose.
That is absolutely gorgeous. I love those sort of circles, and it really does make those flowers pop. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So this is a collection of flower forming dies. These are the boards, so you can see what you're going to be getting in the collection. The first one is your pine cone. Then we have your autumn leaves. I'm losing that little die there. The next one is your Regal Rose, which you've just seen Corrine using now. Then we've got your hydrangea garden. We've got your foliage, again, all of those different pieces of foliage that we've just seen used. The ivy. Then this one here is your hydrangea. No, wisteria. Wisteria, hysteria. This one is your bewitching blooms. This one is your perfect peony. And finally, you've got your beautiful blossom. £50, $65, platinum price is £40 or $52. That is a really, really good deal. Lots of people have been messaging in to say hello. We have got, Lynn says she's going to be crafting all day. Well done, I think that's a good idea. Kathy says, here from the Bay Area of soggy California, can't wait to see all the beautiful flowers. Terry Anderson says, I'm saving today's show in my Corrine folder in my YouTube library.
Thank
you. I know Corrine will have lots of neat demonstrations. You always have good demonstrations.
Thank you.
Jerry says, I love using the mini for cutting the flower dies. It's super fast. It really is. It does make a difference actually using that one, because you want to cut multiples of the flowers, don't you? And I always find it's much quicker. Gareth says, this is a brilliant collection. I'm tempted, I can't lie. I'm not surprised. It's a really good deal. Shadiah says, good morning, lovely Becky and Corrine. Awake all night. I need some sleep, so watching in and out. Oh dear. I hope you catch up on that sleep. Betty says, says, I'm so enthralled with watching, I forgot about the chat. And I felt the same way, because I was just sort of standing here slightly open-mouthed watching all of that. Stephanie says, loving the card. Meredith says, I love the card. Beautiful, thank you for the inspiration, is from Jerry. So do message in if you've got any questions, and they really do look lovely. Now, if you are inspired to give it a whirl, making some of the flowers, you will need some of your flower forming foam, and we have got a bundle here. So it's buy 3 and get 1 free. Fantastic. The first one we've got is the Knitwits Homebody collection. So this is those lovely colours, that very sort of soft pink and almost like it's like a duck egg blue you've got in that collection there. This one is Country Lane, so sort of slightly darker colours, but these are all going to mix and match very well together. This one is your Autumn Hues with all of those beautiful browns, great for those pine cones and sort of Thanksgiving type ones, but actually great for sort of springtime as well. Then you've got some of the white, which you've obviously seen Corinne inking, so that's a really good one to have. You also comes with some stamens, so we've got some pastel coloured stamens as well as some white stamens. Now, can you ink up the stamens if you wanted to? Change them into different colours?
Of course you can. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. A piece of my card's moved and dried while it's been in the bag.
Oh dear. Oh.
Annoying. So I got me distracted. Yes, of course you can.
Yeah.
Your alcohol pens or your
Right.
ink pads are absolutely brilliant for doing that.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Okay, so the price for this is what? £7.
There you
For
go.
all of that. Stamens.
Seven.
Sorry, I was going to say that can't possibly be the case. So you've got your stamens here for £7 or $10. Platinum price is £5.60 or $8 there. So we're going to go for a quick break while Corinne tries to unglue the piece of card that's stuck together, and give you opportunity to check out, because this collection won't be around for very long because it offers such a great deal.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. What are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Who is one of my unsung heroes at Crafters TV? It has to be our lovely John. Not only does he corral our coordination team together, but he also looks after us experts really well. He comes out to visit the expert house where we need to stay, to fix things that are broken. He looks after us, he looks after everything that we need, and even brings me cups of tea during the show.
Yeah, I should have said John in there too, shouldn't I? But we all know John's an unsung hero.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people, and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other, where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. and it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
Massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously. The people not just here at Crafts Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Loads of people loving that card that Corrine's just made. Jerry Johnson says, I have a small chipboard box filled with flowers, but I'll be moving it up to a hat box. The flowers are so addictive. They are, and they just look so special, don't they? Actually, I think, they're when you get flowers, they don't last for very long, real flowers, but having something like that and decorated, a little box of chocolates decorated with those flowers, it's going to last and last. Teresa says, each time I watch a flower demo, I get better info, such as gluing the centre, then putting the stamens in. Thank you. Kirsty says, good morning everyone, happy Mother's Day. I got a Crafters Companion gift card from my son. How did he know I would want one? That's a good son to have. And Betty says, I need to get out my stash and practice. And I think that's the great thing about these sort of small dies and that flower forming foam. You can keep on going and you can have a play with it, and then you can sort of pop it in a box and leave it and come back to it later. It's not going to flatten once you sort of curled everything. So it's a really good way of getting on top of all of those little decorations that you want to use. What are you going to be showing us next, Corrine?
Who was it who was asking about the ivy?
It was Terry.
Terry, right.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd do that next, because I was going to do it at some point. So, again, I'm going to do it out of the foam. And again, I have doubled over my foam. So I'm going to pop it into my folder. We're just going to stick with the mini while we can. And I'm going to get these. Now, what you'll see with these is you've got your cutting out edge around the outside. And then this one is an embossing line. So it's not a sharp edge like you get on a die, and it's not as deep. So that is a much deeper blade around the outside. That's much more shallow, so you're not going to go through your foam. So I'm going to put this on here. Now, the first time I did this, I was thinking, right, if I'm doing multiple layers, is it going to emboss all the way through?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the science of this, but I want to show you something. When I put that through, so as I said, I've got 2 layers of the foam. And these are an embossing and a cutting die.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through one layer, just with my mini, not going through with anything, not fancy machines or anything like that. And when I take that off there, look at that, you can see, can you see how much it's embossed? Now, this one, I'm going to do it with the largest one, just because it's going to be easier for the camera to pick it up. So if I pick this up, and you're going to see that's where it's embossed. So if I open out the 2 layers, when I look, my second one isn't very embossed. But if I turn it over, the rear of that one, hopefully you can see, has really embossed. So it somehow embosses the top and the rear.
Right, okay.
Don't ask me how. How does the back get so embossed? I don't know, but it does. So if I look at this one, top is there, and then that side's really embossed. But the middle layers, it's just slightly, but it's those 2 outside edges. So for these dies, I wouldn't recommend doing more than 2 layers, right? Because you're going to lose the emboss. If you just want it flat, then that's absolutely fine. Go for it. You can do as many layers as you want. Then the other one I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pine cone, but we're going to make some berries.
Oh.
So what we're going to do, again, we can fold it over. And I'm just going to use this little small one here, this 5 one. So the way this works with a pine cone, let me see. You've got a step-by-step tutorial to make the pine cone.
Okay.
But as I was saying earlier, just think of these as dies. Yeah. Don't think of them as anything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these ones to make my berries. So again, we're just going to take that. We're going to get the folder. We're going to, let's have a go. Let's see if we can fold that over and get 4 layers, just to show you, because there's nothing too complicated in this one. Pop that through. And then through with my mini. You can hear it click when it's done. You can go backwards if you want. It's entirely up to you. And then you can open this out. There we go. Look at that. Straight through 4 layers. And then just sometimes If I'd have done that in my die cutting machine where the pressure is even more, I would have probably found that it would take a lot longer to separate them. But there you go, I've got 4 little flowers.
Lovely.
Okay, so what you might want to do then is come to the ivy. I'm going to use quite a dark green, so I'm using my pine tree, because it's a nice dark green. It's a green that I really like. So I'm going to get it onto the dauber, and I'm just going to go round the edges. So this foam was in the bundle that, I don't know if it was in your bundle there, but I'm sure it's on the show today. Let me show you. You get the foliage greens, and you get 2 different greens. It's on the show, definitely on the show. So it's a really useful one to have in your stash, because you've got a couple of different greens, and you'll find that one of them will go somewhere, you know, along with whatever you're making. So you can just see, I'm just going round, can you just see? I'm not trying to go too much, but just put...
But that makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it, straight away. So we can pop that on there. And what I'm going to do is I'll do this one, I'll do 2 this size, and then I'll show you what Terry has been doing and what the problem is that she's having.
Okay.
I think. We're flying by the seat of our pants here, so let's hope I've understood what she's said. Okay, so I've done those 4. So I'm going to get my craft iron, and I'm going to get one of these, and I'm going to pop it on to there. And what I'm doing is I'm going to pop that on to shape it. There we go. And then when I open it out, don't move iron, can you see that emboss is gone? It's totally smooth.
Yeah.
There is no embossing left on that. That's because I've let the heat go over the whole thing.
Right.
Now, if you want to, what I would sometimes do is while it's warm, just give it a little bit of a scrunch, and then you've got a really nice shaped ivy. Still looks nice. But what we're going to do is we're going to take exactly the same die, and all I'm going to do is heat round the edges. So what I'm actually doing is shrinking the edge of the foam, but I'm not shrinking the centre of the foam. Now, if you feel like you need to use finger protectors, please do, but I've done this a few times. And then all I do while it's warm is give it a little bit of a shape. And you can see what that's doing. It takes a few minutes. It almost looks better when you come back to it 5 minutes later. So the edge of the foam is shrinking, and then the centre of the foam hasn't had any heat on it, so it almost buckles. And because it buckles, can you see, it's added shape. So if I bring some in that I've done, there we go. Can you see how I've still got all of the embossing in the centre, and just like that, all of that emboss is still there, but I've just shrunk around the outside, and you've added lots of shape. Okay,
that looks great.
So what I'm going to do now is, let's just go onto here. I'm going to grab that one, and I'm going to pop it onto the, oops, stuck to my tweezers. Let's make sure, just clean those tweezers. Right, let's try that again. Pop that onto there. Small ball tool, give it a good rub, round and round, so it's shrinking, and then you can see. And once it's on the mat, I'm just going to pop that ball tool in the centre. And while that's cooling, if I do it that way, look, can you see?
Yeah.
It's underneath there. So it's just using the mat is pushing the foam around the ball tool.
Right.
And the foam is drying nicely, so that when I lift it out and lift it like that, look at that, I've got a perfect little cupped flower. Can you see? I'll do that one more time to show you. Pop it onto there. Ball tool, give it a little bit of a shape. Let it, oops, pop out. Now, that one moved again, so we can just go back on. You can reshape. Come on, I'm going to... These aren't my ball tools and things, and everything's got glue on it. Right, on like that. Throw it down. Pop it through there. There you go, and then you can then just shape it, and while that foam is cooling, it's setting round the shape of my ball tool, and then I lift that up, I've got the perfect little cup. And then all I've done is I've just taken a little black stamen and put one through and just left that, so that I've got some lovely little buds. Can you see just like...
That's great. I love that idea.
Look like that. And I just think the little black centre really works. So I've not got too many. I've just got a handful, just like that. And there you go. So that's going to be my flower. So I've got all my ivy and I've got some little buds. Now, this was my piece of card. And this was the piece that had got a bit... I must have moved it before it was properly dry. So what had happened was the cherry had moved, but I've managed to rescue it.
Excellent.
You can't see. So I've got, you see, I usually do 10-fold cards, especially when I've got weight. See, this is where I've just rescued it. So let me just put some glue just down there. There we go. When I've got weight, I like a 10-fold card because if you've got a side opening card and you've got weight on the front, what will happen is it will pull it over. So it's just, there we go. Pop that one onto there. That's going to open up like that. Then I've taken a piece of white card. Again, I've just stamped. And then I've just put some little gems on. Liquid gems or solid gems, whichever you've got. And you'll also see I've used one of my fine liner pens just to draw 2 little lines at the top.
Okay.
And the reason for that, you'll see in 1 minute. We can pop that on. It's got a little bit of ink on, but that's just from the ink off the ivy. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of my ivy and I'm going to pop it on there, and I'm going to put my first one on, oops, a stem, just like that. And I'm going to use the glue to help me shape. And the second one, just like that. And then we can just use that. And then we're just going to work down and pop in some more little bits of ivy. So don't think that it all has to be about flowers all the time. Foliage can look really nice. I think last time I did one of these shows, I did a really lovely demo just using the foliage, you know, made like a wreath.
Yeah.
So you can do it however you want.
And would you make a box to send this?
Oh, most of the time, yes. I just get my box tool out, or Envelope box works really well. However you want, just make a little box. There we go. So you can see we're just building that up. There we go.
It looks so realistic.
Looks pretty, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, and I've got some in the other green. Let's just poke that one. Let's go in there so that we haven't gone too far before we put that green in. So you can see the 2 different greens. Looks lovely. I've got plenty up here that I've done. But I like one of our viewers was saying, I have a box of flowers and a box of foliage. So that means that, you know, when I come to do a project, you know, all the bits I don't use today will go in there.
Yeah.
And it just means I've got a starting point, you know, next time I want to do one. So we can.
And actually, sometimes making them up might be the thing that you want to do, rather than actually making a finished card.
Yeah.
You just might want to make all of those different sort of embellishments.
Exactly. Then there's something lovely that you can just be doing, you know, when you've not got anything particular to make. You just want, you know, have a bit of fun playing, you know, a bit of creating, and do. Don't worry if you get a little bit of glue strings. We can always clear those off at the end. And then let's go, I've got a couple of smaller ones, so we're nearly down. But doesn't that look absolutely beautiful? And like I say, it isn't always about lots of flowers. You can have just as much fun and it can be just as effective just with the foliage. Because some people aren't, you know, big flower buffs and wouldn't appreciate lots of flowers. And then what I thought I would do was I'd get these little berry or little floral ones. I might just, oops, my glue gun, pop that off there and then just pop a little bit of glue, and then those would just poke in between the bits of ivy just to look like little berries. So let's make sure we put enough on so that it doesn't look like we've changed our mind. You always need the sort of courage of convictions. Once you start, you know, you've got to finish it off. But can you just see how that just, I just thought that would just
absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, really is.
So, so pretty. I was having my nails done yesterday and I said to the lady, she said, are you going to work? I said, yeah, I'm going to work. I said, my nails will be covered in glue tomorrow, glue and ink. That's the norm. Make them look pretty for yesterday, but by today, I knew they'd be covered. They're always covered in hot glue, but the good thing is the hot glue just...
And it's actually quite satisfying picking it off the nails, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. There we go. Let's do that. And I think I just want one more just to pop that. Doesn't that? I mean, it's quite autumnal. I know we're going into spring and that's quite autumnal, but you're going to have your dyes forever, aren't you? So, you know, you're going to have plenty of time. So I just thought I'd show you something.
It's nice using it as a focal point rather than just as an addition to the flowers, isn't it?
Exactly. So how about that? Just getting those little last glue strings off, and then I'll turn that one round and show you. How about like that? I just think that's really a little bit different.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely beautiful. Lots of people saying how nice that is. Terry Anderson says, absolutely stunning card. Betty says, I love how much I learn every day. Laurie says, good morning, such great inspiration. Terry said, thanks, that answered her question perfectly. Thank you so much for that. And actually, that's a really good tip because I've done that as well. I've sort of used those dyes and then, you know, I've done exactly that thing. I've put the whole thing on the iron rather than using the edges, which is, you know, it makes sense, perfect sense now you've said that.
Yeah, because it's shrinking it, isn't it? So all you're going to do is flatten out that
and actually shrinking the edges whilst keeping the middle whole, it makes it look even more realistic. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a really good idea. June says, you've encouraged me to get my foam out and have a go later in the week.
Brilliant.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Loads of people loving that. Keep on messaging in. Got any questions? If you're finding there's something that a handy hint that you've got about using the flower forming foam and the dyes, or you want to let us know what kind of project that you're going to be making with this, and let us know what bits and pieces you're going to be doing. And if you've got any questions, let us know as well. We've got some tools available for you on the show. So the first one is your ball tool. So you've got your double-ended ball tools, and you've also got the foam pad for creating these different designs.
I couldn't make my flowers without that set.
No.
I just couldn't. I would never, ever make flowers. I can't think of the last time I made flowers without using the ball tool at some point.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit. It just helps.
It does help, definitely. And they're exactly the same tools that you use if you're going to make them out of sugar.
Yeah, it's just like your sugar
exactly
paste
the
ones.
same things, yeah.
Yeah, but don't cross over.
No, don't cross over. No. You don't want any of your inks on your food. And then you're going to be getting this as well. So this is your petal distress tool. So this price, basically you're paying for these and you're getting these for free. So this is $14.99, $19.95, and these are really cool for making everything look very realistic.
Yeah.
The next thing we've got are some of your mini little folders. So these come in packs of 3. So you're going to get 2 packs of 3 here. So these are the folders, those double folders you clip together. And you're also going to be getting your plastic shim as well in here. So £7.98, $11.90, or your platinum price is £6.38, $9.52. So that really is worth doing. And this collection here that we're sort of focusing on, there are so many different types of flowers that you can be making with this. And as Corrine was saying, don't be dissuaded by the fact that we might call something a clover or a rose. You can use them for all sorts of different things. I mean, flowers vary. There's all these, you know, you get to the hybrids where you get tulips, rather than being nice and smooth, they're all kind of wriggly around the outside. So you can create all sorts of different designs on there. You can cut these, you can cut with vellum as well as card, can't you, with these dies, if you want to do that?
Oh,
really?
If you've got a tin can,
yeah,
flatten out a tin can, cut them out of the tin can and then colour them with the alcohol pens.
Oh, that sounds like quite a good idea. A bit of home decor for that. So lots and lots of things you can do with that, and it is a really great price at £40 or $52 as your platinum price. What's the next demo you're going to be doing for us?
It's staying with the foliage feel, but I'm going to use my dyes initially. I'm going to use my autumn leaves, because we've got autumn leaves in the collection.
We have,
right?
yeah.
We do.
Yeah,
I couldn't see it there for a minute. I was thinking, oh, I used something wrong. I'm going to use my autumn leaves, but I'm going to use it as to make a stencil first, because I just wanted to show you how versatile your dies could be. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to cut foam flowers out, but we're going to make a stencil first. So I've just got a piece of craft card, and I think craft card is quite a handy one for making stencils, just because it's quite fibrous and quite robust.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pop my dies on here. So just randomly use it. I'm going to use all the dies. So let's just put the two biggest ones in opposite corners. Make sure you don't go too close to the edge, otherwise you'll cut through it. And then we can just pop the dies through here. And then what I'd say is the pieces that are going to cut out, I won't use on this project, but if I've done the projects in the right order, what you'll probably see is all the bits that I cut out of here will be used on a later. Which project did I use them on? That one. There you go. Right, I know which one it is. So I will use these pieces that cut out of here later.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, although they're small dies, because I'm making a stencil, I'm going to have to go up to, I can't do this on my mini,
Right.
because it's all about that piece of card.
Yeah.
So that piece of card is 5 by 7, and that's because my card base is going to be 5 by 7. Well, not my card base, the topper. So let's cut those through there. Pop that through like that, and that's going to cut out of there. Now you'd have to do, because you've got 5 days, you're going to have to do more than one pass. But there we go. So you can see those have cut through here. There we go. And then, can you see the stencil starting to form?
Oh yeah.
Because I've positioned them where I needed them to go. But that piece of foam tape has stuck quite well. There we go. And then like that. So you can see. So what I've got here is one that I've actually, can you see exactly the same? I've
Yep.
just cut them all out. So like I say, keep these pieces, because although they're craft card, they're going to be really, really useful, and they're going to be hopefully the next demo.
Yep.
Or the one after. We'll see. Well, I should get them all done. So I've got my 5 by 7 card, and I'm just going to pop. Let's just put a tiny. I'm going to put the tiniest little bit of spray, stick and spray on there. Just do it over the bin. Right. I've only put the tiniest little bit just to make it stick a little bit. So this is 5 by 7. This is 5 by 7. So I'm just going to lay that over the top. Just there. I just put a bit of glue in the middle because I'm going to put a topper on. So I don't mind putting the glue in the middle because I know that it's going to hide it all. So I'm going to use, I don't know why I got those out because actually I want finger daubers. So I have got 4 really beautiful autumnal colours, because this is going to be quite an autumnal card. So I'm going to do that. So I've got my fire brown, I've got my orange, I've got my grasshopper, and I've got my honey pot. And then we're just going to pop those like that. And so that one is there. Let me go. I've got a brown one, I've got an orange one, and I've got a green one, because I'm going to be doing a nice bit of blending. So let's go start with a bit of grasshopper. And I'm going to blend it. And I do find your finger daubers let you get right into the centre. And again, all I'm using is multi-purpose cardstock.
Okay.
Nothing, don't need anything fancy. So just bring that through. Now, the longer you spend on this, the better the results you're going to get. We're going to do, we won't rush it too much, but so I can get right up into those grooves. Let's build that colour up. Let's come back in with a little bit of the green. Do that, and then I want to sort of transition that so you can almost not see where it goes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, 1 minute it's green, and the next minute it's brown. So we can do that, and then I'm going to do different combinations. So let's go green down here, and then orange at the top. There we go, like that. Oh, I might have gone a bit far with the orange on that one, so I need to come back in with green. There we go.
How many times would you be able to use that stencil? A couple of times?
Good few times, yeah. This is the second time of me using this one, so you can do it on there. Well, I've got the orange in my hand. Let's come down here. I know it doesn't, you can't wipe clean like you do on polymer, you know, your acrylic stencil, but because I'm using my water reactive inks, they effectively just dry after a while.
Yeah.
So next time I come in, it's fine.
And craft card always feels sturdier.
It does, doesn't it? I think
don't know
it's the
whether
fibrous qualities of it. So all you can see is all I'm doing is just working down with those colours, and I'm trying to do different colour combinations as I go. So I've got green, brown, green, orange, orange, yellow, yellow, brown. So you can see for each of my leaves, I've picked a different combination. And what just me being just the way I am, I suppose, so what I did there, because I've got the same leaf here, I'm going to do the same colour combination on that leaf just there. But that's just how I like to do these things. You could do each one different if you wanted to. So you can come round like that, and then the brown up there. Now I'm just going to sort of lift it a minute to show you. And can you see how that looks?
That's gorgeous.
It is, isn't it? But what I want to do then is, I didn't get one out. Let me find a fine liner pen, and I'm going to see if I can find a nice thin one. So I've got 0.3 here. You know, in your art liners?
Yeah.
And all I would do then is just come round the edge. So almost, what I was thinking when I first did this was I wanted to make stamps, and then I thought, do I want to mess around making stamps? And I thought, actually, this way, I'm going to get almost the impression of the stamp with the black line.
Yeah.
Because the black line's going to look like your stamp, your stamp, without having to worry about lots of messing. And then I found this way easier to go down the bumps on that one. Go down that way. Just follow that round, and then follow it round. That way, just pressing up against the craft card. And I don't know, like you're saying, the craft card just feels like it's giving me, it's a bit resistant. It's not trying to lift, it's holding the shape that I want it to do, and it's doing everything.
I do like using a bit of craft card. I think it's underrated.
It is. It's something that we should all use a lot more. It's very versatile, and you can, like you say, whether it's you're constructing here or whether, you're doing whatever you're doing. So once you've done that, I'm just going to show you the difference now.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
When I show you that one. So, I mean, that one sort of floats, but those sort of anchor down.
Yeah.
I just thought that would look really, really pretty.
Yeah.
So what I've done here is I've just done them all.
Lovely.
Just thought it looked really, really sweet. So once you've got to there, let's just put the lids on these inks before we go any further. What we can then do is we can get some of our foam. And this is where I just had a really good play with my foam. So I then just got the dies, and then I just laid them over the top. So I've got 3 layers here. I'm just going to do as many as fit onto this brown foam here. Did I have, can I, quite like that one, so I'm going to sacrifice that one for that one. So just do those few for a minute. You can go through as many times as you like, and then I'll just put that on there. Here it is. And I always sort of just cut my foam to about 3 inches wide, because then I know it's going to pop nicely through there. So we can then just, there we go, just all the way through. There we are. And that, now look at that, straight through. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. So we can take 1, 2, and 3, and then open them out. There we go. Oh, there we are. Right, there we are. You can just see how they open up. Can you see how already they're starting to stick together, 3 layers?
Yeah.
Just a little bit harder to separate. But again, the heat, if you want to put heat on them, that helps to separate them too.
Okay.
And then what we can just do with the yellow ones, let's go in with some orange, just around the edges to lift. With the brown ones, I'm going to come in with brown now. I'm not sure with the fryer brown. Now, that's right. Can I see seal brown on here? Seal brown could be a little bit better. No, there's not a seal brown there, so I can't do that. There isn't one on the shelf. But if you've got a seal brown, I find that the seal brown covers this better. And all of this foam is out of the, I think it's called autumnal hues or something like that, the foam pack that we've got.
In that bundle, yeah.
Yeah. So again, we're going to do that, and then on the orange, if I can get it to show up. There we got just a little bit. Let's just pick up, I know that's on my brown door, but let's just see if that picks up a little bit more. There we go. And then I'll do exactly the same as we did with the ivy. Instead of doing it all, I'm just going to go around the edges to warm and to sort of shrink the edges.
You're not spending long with it against the heat, are you?
No, and then I just sort of lightly scrundle it up. Can you see? Just let it scrundle up a little bit. That's a technical term. Yeah, that's a flower forming term.
But I know exactly what you mean by scrunkle.
Yeah, scrundle it up.
And it really does look like it's, you know, you're looking at the ground when all the leaves have fallen down, and they're never flat, are they? They've always sort of moved slightly.
There you go. Just sort of bring them all together. And then I've got this one again. Again, you've got the embossing detail on. If you want to just put the leaf flat on the craft iron, then go for it. But I just find, as Terry said, you lose all your embossed detail. I'm just using the heat to do. And I've got lots of gorgeous leaves just here that I've popped on like that. There we go, we can see like that. Now, the other thing I've done, you remember that foliage that we cut out of white earlier? Let me just put some lids on before we go any further. I've cut it out of black. Bit different. Yeah. So that's out of the foliage. So these were the autumn leaves, and that's from the foliage pack. And that's what I mean, it's just happiness, isn't it? Yeah. Look, I mean, does that not look like real leaves? Yeah. It does, doesn't it?
Oh, you could use that as almost like table confetti, couldn't you? Yes. If you're having a harvest festival kind of Thanksgiving dinner, having all
or
those...
you're a teacher doing, you know, harvest stuff, you know, with the children. It'd work brilliantly. Okay, so I've got my tent fold again, and I've just picked up some orange and some black. Pop those two together. So just regular, our black card, and just some of our textured in the orange. I do think that works really nice. You can hear the texture on that, can't you? And then we can pop that on to there. It's when I'm prepping these, coming up with the shapes and the flowers is I find quite easy. Yeah. But then it's trying to think of different ways to put them onto cards and projects, because otherwise they come out all of quite the same. That's probably for me the bit that takes the longest, is coming up with the design. Now I can feel that on here I've got a little bit of the glue, but that's really not a problem, because all I've done is I've just done a sentiment. But I mean, straight away that looks...
Yeah, that looks great as it is.
It does, doesn't it? So we can pop...
But you're going to make it even better, aren't you?
I'm going to have a go. I'm going to have a go. So we can pop that onto here, and then hot glue gun again. I'm going to put a request in. Can we have double length flexes on our glue gun?
They're a bit short, aren't they?
It's fine, and I don't have a problem at home. When I'm on my desk, actually, I wouldn't want longer, but when I'm here in the studio, I always feel like I could do with a little bit longer. So let's come in. For once, I'm actually going to put my foliage on fairly early. Normally, you'll see I put my foliage on afterwards, but what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pop my foliage on. So my foliage is going to go there and there. So let's just put a little... If it's really wrong, I can give it a yank and it'll pull out and no one will see, because I'll cover it up. So we can put those just there. Let's do opposite corners, because I do like a little bit of symmetry. Like that. Make sure, and then it's just add the foliage where you want it to go, any way as you want. So we can pop this on, and again, use your hot glue to help get extra shape and dimension. Just change my mind how I want that. I want it that way now. And you can see this is why I don't usually put my foliage on first, because you put it on where you think it is going to go, and then you suddenly find that you've covered up all your foliage. It's just how it tends to be. Ooh, that was hot. There we go. And then let's do one of those. Tuck in. Now I'm not going to see oodles of my stencil, but I don't mind that. It's just knowing that it's there where it's, you know what I mean, where it's visible. You could think, oh, you've done all that stenciling and you're not going to see that much of it, but I don't know.
No, but it gives that dimension, doesn't it? Otherwise it would just look a
bit
little bit flat.
Yeah. Let's just pop that one. I don't like seeing that in a leaf, so let's just put, there we go, just like that. And let's do something fairly similar on the other side. I've got 2 brown ones ready, so it would be 2 brown ones.
It really does look like you've just gone out into the forest and collected a whole load of leaves and stuck them on. They look so realistic.
It's lovely, isn't it? And I think doing that little bit of shaping and then also the little bit of inking helps as well. Really does bring them to life, doesn't it? Let's go that way round and pop them. And sort of rough symmetry, but not getting too hung up on it. There we go. And then we can pop that one in the centre, just there. Let's get another little bit of foliage and pop that one in there. And then I've got, I think I'm going to just pop another little bit. That foliage is just disappearing under there, so I'm going to pop another little piece just to, there we go, I like that better. But we can clear up that. Oh, look at that, a lot of glue strings there. We can get rid of all those. If you've got glue strings like that, the easiest and quickest way to get rid of them, just get my glue gun warm, is just look at that waft, and the glue just shrinks and disappears.
That's
all those
a good
glue
idea.
strings have gone. Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
all the glue strings gone. And then we can go like that.
Brilliant.
So again, hopefully something a little bit different again for you.
That's great. Very much like that. Lots of people liking that too. Debbie Mahan says, the autumn leaves look so realistic. And she suggested that what she does is she runs laminator sheets through the laminator to seal them, and then she cuts the shapes out in the Gemini to make stencils. And then then you're making stencils that can be cleaned.
Yep,
so that's a really great idea. Terry Anderson says that black makes it look amazing. I wouldn't have thought of using that. No, automatically you go for all of those same kind of hues. I would have thought it would be like dark green, but the black really sort of anchors everything together. Yeah.
Makes it pop.
Yeah, definitely. That looks really lovely. Terry Anderson says it's a good day to repeat everything Corrine has done. Everyone's loving what you've made there. It does look really, really good. I like the fact that you can use it as a focal point, all of those sort of leaves, rather than just sort of putting them together with all of the other flowers. Just to, sometimes the leaves want to be the star, not just the flowers, do they? You know, they're always the bridesmaid, never the bride, are they, leaves? I'm sure they think that a lot, but they are really looking lovely. So this is all part of our flower forming die collection that we've got today. You've got all of those different kinds of dies in there, being able to make a foliage, lots of different flowers. Don't be constrained by the name of the flower and feel that you can only make that one particular flower. There's lots of different options. And by heating them in a different way, you'll get a different effect of the flowers. So you saw from that pine cone shape, you're not just being able to make pine cones, but able to make flowers as well, and be able to use that tiny little dye from the pine cones by heating that up and making those into those little berries. Really, really spectacular collection here. Platinum price is £40 at $52. Definitely worth doing there. Kirsten said, can you demonstrate the pine cone? Are you going to have time to do that one?
But I haven't got another one planned for that, but there is a full tutorial. If you buy the pine cone, there is a step-by-step video.
Right.
It's on the back of the pine cone how to make it.
Okay.
But effectively, it's making each layer, heating it to give it curve, and then just building them up. And it's less, more is more on this.
Right.
Don't try and do it with a few layers. Think 20 layers.
Really? That many?
Yeah, I would. Yes,
Wow.
easily.
Okay.
Easily. Yeah, the more layers you do, and just sort of, do, I don't know, 5 of one size, twisting each one, 5 of the next, 5 of the next, 5 of the next, till you get to the smallest one at the top. Brilliant. But it's all about shaping them and with the heat of your craft iron.
Okay, then that's the video that's on the packaging.
Yeah.
brilliant. That's great. We've also got some other deals for you as well on the show today. So this one is the multimedia dies, the Cube crossover bag and the Raindrop wristlet bag, including the velvet. So you've got the peacock velvet, I think it's called, and blueberry, and you've got the little pieces of metalware to create those dies. This was launched on Friday, and these are really beautiful little bags, great for bridesmaids perhaps, or evening bags there. £69.96 for that whole collection, or $85.80. The next one we've got are our Tiffany Buddy Bag Star Buy. Lots of different designs here. You've got 9 different bags for all of your organising needs, £35 or $45. Next one we have our Craft and Carry workstation in pink. These fits perfectly into, I think is it a Calyx cube from IKEA, or the storage containers. So this one's pink, £22.49, $26.24. We also have that in black as well. That's £22.49, $26.24. And then the last one is your desk-made store and clip pods. So you've got all of those different size containers in there with those large, almost like paper clips, which clip everything together. So you've got that large base to put everything on. You can fit loads in there. You can see we've got our paper pads as well as our guillotine in there and all your other crafty goodness. £38.07 or $45.40. Really great for organising yourself. We all need a bit of organising, don't we? Yes, yeah, really handy, because I think those are quite commonly used in craft rooms, those Calyx organisers. I did keep looking at those and thinking, can I fit those into my room? I don't think I can fit any more into my room. We're going to go for a quick little break, and we'll see you in a couple of moments.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. So, join our family of craft experts with live tutorials and demonstrations every day. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products here on Crafters TV. Get creative and craft along with our amazing deals. Your next craft project is only a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or watch on catch up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channel. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends in our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
You all had time with each other! You're not through to boot camp. Get off!
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. So, stop what you're doing and enjoy the fun here on Crafters TV. Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comfort of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. We see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. I love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
Hello everybody, welcome back. In Masterclass today, it's been all about flowers, flower forming foam, flower forming dyes, and we're having a great time seeing all the different bits and pieces you can do. But if you're sort of tempted to go and buy a few bits and pieces, do have a look at our website. So we've got our bag grab. To get it round the right way, because I keep saying it the wrong way, and it's a way of you creating your own goodie bags. So you've got 3 different options. The first one is you can take any 3 pen packs for £20 or $30. You just need to click on the lily that's moving around. So where you've got those double points there's it, bag grab weekend. You need to click on that, and it will show you the 3 different options. So buy any 3 pens for £20 or $30. Buy any 15 stamps for £40 or $50, and buy any 10 die sets for £60 or $70. And when you have a look there, you'll see that they are, you've got some dies in there that are £20. So you can definitely make it worth your while by creating your own goodie bag in there. Lots and lots of different things for you to organise. And until midnight tonight, that's going to be valid for. And also until midnight tonight, we do have double points on all your orders. So today is a good day to shop. I think every day is a good day to shop, but today is a particularly good day to shop because we've got lots of great deals for you on the website. Now we're going to carry on with the demonstrations, and we're going to be doing, which ones are we going to be doing now, Corrine?
Right, we're going to do the beautiful blossom. I'm just checking which pack. Right, yes. I've used the Knitwits foam.
Okay.
The Knitwit Homebody foam, I'm trying to say. So this is the pink from there. And then this is the beautiful blossom. It is originally from the... Come on, Corrine. It's on your top row. What collection is it on the top there?
This one?
Yes.
Enchanted
Dreams. There you go. I knew I'd get there eventually. So all I'm going to do is cut off a piece of the foam. Now, what you'll notice is I very rarely put through more foam than I need, because every time you put the foam through a die cutting machine, you're flattening it. You're flattening out the quality. So I will only put through what I really need at a time. So we can take this now. Have I cut this wide enough so that I can get 2 of those? Oh, no, I'm going to have to, let's go like that. So that one's going to go on the bottom. I'll just use the bottom one, use that one, and then yep, that will work. Lovely. So we can pop that one on. Then we can do that one. There we go. Can I get, now do 2 and then, tell you what, why don't I do this? Why don't I do this? Think it through, Corrine. Right, so that one's going to go through just because I've cut it to that size. Put that through. Easy to sort because this takes so quick. Put that through like that. There we go, that's that one. This one will fold. I can fold it in half properly now. That one's going to go up there. There we are. Oops, put the die the right way around. And then we can whiz that through. Now, these are very similar sort of flowers to that first one that I did, but we're going to make them in a different way. So we're not going to use any external heat. We're just going to use the heat of our hands for this. So, and that can be just as effective if you wanted to. Or you could use your that little shaping tool the ruffling shaping tool.
The petal
distresser.
Distresser, yeah.
Thank you. If you wanted to, that works really well.
Petal ruffler.
Is that, yeah.
No, it's not what it's called, but
finger toboggan. It's got lots of names, lots of names. So I've got all of my flowers there. I'm just gonna come in with some pink ink, just to put on the edges. I'm not gonna even put colour in the centre on this one. Now this project is where I'm really gonna work with some craft card. So I was thinking this pink and craft card would look really nice. And again, you'll notice, don't get too hung up about where the ink's going. Just make sure I put it on both sides so that when the petals are dimensional, it shows, but then it'll work like that. So we can put that onto there. If I do one more, and then I can show you how you can use the finger toboggan, the petal distresser as well. I can have a go. Have a go at that. I think it's Craig that calls it that.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. What you'll notice is I've got my pink ink here and I'm trying to put the petal in at the same point all the way around. Otherwise you end up with ink all over the petal. So I just tend to work into one space and just work it through like that. Now, what I'm going to do here is now on the last one, I put it onto the iron and then shaped it. On here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it up. Obviously, you're not going to get any shrinkage with it, doing it this way, so you know how big they're going to be. And then I just pleat it. Just pleat it like that, and then backwards and forwards. So you can just doing it just there, like that. So that's blending the ink, and it's ruffling up the edges, and then we can open it out. And then once we've got it open, just show you like that, and then we can just use our fingers to stretch. You can see I'm not going anywhere near that ruffled edge.
Yeah.
And you can see.
Beautiful.
So it starts like that and ends up like that.
Wow.
So we'll do the same.
And that's just from the heat of your fingers?
Heat of my hands. Yeah, absolutely. Let's ruffle that one up. If you find it a bit not grabbing, just tiniest little bit of damp on your fingers sometimes helps to grip backwards and forward. You will get mucky fingers, but it comes off with a good wash. A little bit of hand sanitizer gets all the ink off, and then you've got nice sanitised hands as well. So you can see just like that. Now let me see, have I got my petal distresser? This is my little bag that sits by my. So with your petal distresser, you get little ribbed board.
Yeah.
So what you've got your board. Can you hear? You've got ribs on there and ribs on there. And then all you need to do is you put this on your finger, so this is why we call it finger toboggan, and then you just ruffle backwards and forwards. So if you struggle to do like I just did, this is all you need to do. So just backwards and forwards to distress. So you're going up and down the. I've tried. If you think which way do I do it? If you put it on that way, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
You want to you want to hear that noise. So pop that onto there.
You're not using too much pressure on there?
No, not at all. No, because if you did, you're just going to rip it. Yeah. So you're fine. And then you can still then just shape the bottoms. Again, keeping it nice there. And then you've got it lovely and shaped like that. And then let me just get a couple more that I've got, because I do like a few petals on my flowers. I'm always one for quite a few petals, because I like the look. Just on there.
So I suppose the key thing when you're making flowers is to spend the time on the distressing and on the manipulating to make sure you get a sort of a proper realistic look to it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just shape these. Let me make sure. Oops. Right. There. Stay. Right, so I'm going to make sure I've got my ball tool ready, I've got my foam mat ready. I'm going to line up the layers that I want. So I want those 3 in my flower. So I can then just put ink on the first, hot glue rather, on the first one. Again, not too much. Stagger them. Just press. Still quite flat, but that's absolutely fine. And another little bit. The ink, I keep saying ink, the glue is giving it a little bit of a pull because it's hot. Bring in that's not quite in the centre. And then, actually let's go with that one. And I probably find that you do most of your shaping at the end. So just bringing it up, pulling it up round that ball tool, just on there. So I'm flattening that glue, but also it's staying cupped and shaped. And you'll notice I've kept as far away from those edges as I can.
Yeah.
Again. Now, gem, it's up to you. You can put gems in the centre. Put a little puddle of hot glue and sprinkle glitter. Looks really pretty. Whatever you want. Now, autumn tones or autumn hues of the stamens. We've got them individually, so I thought we'd go with those. So, but if you haven't got those, just get your white ones and colour them.
Yeah.
So just thought we wouldn't have white because we'd go a little bit different, and pull that down. Take those through. There we go. That wire will work again, and then another little bit of glue on there, just like that. And then I would normally wait till that's dry and then click that off, and then isn't that pretty? I think those that's one of my favourite ones, sort of that sort of style.
Yeah.
So what we've got again is, do you remember we had the foliage that we cut out? Oops. I'm going to just grab the brown. There it is. Oh, throwing everything around today. And I need a brown. There we are. Get that. So I'm just going to come in, because I always think that looks a little bit flat.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start, you see straight away, it just lifts it. Now, complete transparency. What I've got some more here. So some of this is out of the autumn leaves, some of this is out of the foliage. I was in my craft room and I had a card I made for a previous show. This was from a previous show, Grande Edge Balls. But I've never done anything with it. It was a beautiful card showing off the Grande Edge Balls. I even lined the inside, I did the lot, drop shadow. But it said, if friends were flowers, I picked you, but there were no flowers on it.
Right.
So sometimes I go in with flowers after the event. So this is just a card that I can't even remember how long ago the show, I think it was ages ago, but I'd never got round to using it.
Right.
So I'm going to take my flowers, and I'm now going to use my flowers. So you can see I've got the pink and I've got the craft card. So this is where my sort of inspiration came from. And then we can put some flowers on here. I don't want to cover up that lovely sentiment. Now the only thing I've got to watch here is I've got trellis.
Right.
So if it looks like the glue's going to go through the trellis, what I'm going to have to do is just lift it up and make sure I catch it before the glue goes through the trellis. But I think I can grab most of it onto there. Let's just do a little one down at the bottom. There we go. Again, if you wanted to use your tacky glue at this point, that would work, but just give it time to, to dry. So we can then just use the craft foliage, because that's then tying up the rest of the card. Can you see how everything now is working together? And again, I still think until you start putting foliage, even if it's, craft foliage, it doesn't have to be green foliage, until you put some foliage on, that needs... Now, that one, I'm not happy with that one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiniest little bit of glue in the centre, and I'm just going to pull those petals up. Just, come on, dry. That glue's so hot, it's just taking a minute to dry. Just to give it a little bit more dimension. There, that's going. There we go. There, push that one up.
They do look so realistic.
They look lovely, don't they?
And it absolutely refinishes that card off.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And this is just one. I don't know how it stayed in such good condition because it's been on my side for ages. But it just felt like, there you go. Now, if I was to look at that, I'm going to bring that in.
Yeah.
To me, that project is finished now, and it wasn't. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
So just repurpose things you've got. You might already have a box that somebody's gifted you and you want to make it your own. Put some flowers on.
Yeah. And I love the craft card with that pink. It's
does,
lovely.
it looks
It's a
lovely,
really good
doesn't it?
finish, yeah. Gilmore says it's a nice touch, that brown and pink. Teresa says she doesn't understand what the oblong purple pad and the finger guard are for, the petal distressor.
So,
could you show that again?
Yeah, I've got some more. So what you've got here, oops, poke it up. So what you've got here is I've got my vertical grooves on there, and then I've got, if I put that then, I've got my horizontal grooves on here. Now when I shaped my flower, my petal, what I did was I folded it up, I pleated those, and I sort of rolled them and did. Now, not everybody can do that, because you might not have the dexterity to do that, or perhaps you've got really cold hands. Like my daughter has Raynaud's phenomenon, so she never has warmth in her fingers, so she she'd have to really struggle doing this. But you know, I can get quite a lot of shape and dimension at the end of my petals, but not everybody can do that. So what I've got here is, what I'm going to do is, can you hear?
Yeah.
Can you hear it resisting
like
against?
A cat purring over there.
It does sound like a cat purring. So all I've done is I put my foam on there, and then I put my finger on the base of the petal so I don't pull it out, and I just rub up and down. So you can see what I've done is I've created that look in a different way. So just turn it round, put my finger on so I don't pull the petal off, and I'm just resisting the grooves.
Yep.
And all it's doing is, I'm going to stop at that one so that you can see. So just on there. And then you can see we've gone from flat to dimension. And again, what you probably need to do then is sort of give it a little bit of a shape.
Yeah.
That's not the end. But that's what I wanted to show you as well, is can you see now can you see the light and tone of that pink?
Yeah.
That was just put on flat. That as soon as we started to blend, it's blended in that ink. So this is why I always say don't spend too long worrying about where you're putting the ink. And also, you remember I always put it on the back so that, as you see on here, where you can see the reverse of the petals, you know it's going to be all right. And actually, I'm thinking I'm going to push that one in there. It was still missing something, so I've got another flower. There we go.
If in doubt, put another flower on.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with this card, but you know, that's better. I like that even more now. There we go. Pop that on.
That's great.
There we are.
Very, very
Okay,
nice.
so I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, I think Teresa says, thank you very much. Lois says, what a stunning card. I love the colours that you've chosen. Thank you, Corinne. I think, they are really beautiful. It's almost like almonds, sugared almonds.
Yes.
Like biting into a sugared almond.
Is,
you've got
isn't
that brown and you've got that sort of pink on there as well. Very nice. We do have the collection of flower forming foam on the show. So these are, this is that pink colour that we've just seen. This is a Knitwit's Homebody collection.
Got a nice green in that pack.
It has got really nice colours. And that yellow is very pretty as well, sort of very pale, muted colours. Then you've got something a little bit more vibrant with the Country Lane with 2 different tones of green and 2 different tones of pink. Then we have your autumnal hues, which you saw earlier on with that leaf demonstration. And then finally, we've got some white flower forming foam as well, which you can ink. £25.97, $35.85. Platinum price is £20.78 or $26.68. Next, we're going to have a look at some individual stamens. So these are all 400-piece packs. So this first one is your metallic one. £3.59 or $5.39. You've got sort of pinks, silvers and golds in there. You can see like a greeny colour at the bottom, a greeny gold, I suppose, in a way, but really, really pretty designs in that one. The next one is your black stamens. Again, 400 in here, all black. They are, I would say these are like a longer stamen than the other ones, the metallic ones. Those seem to be a little bit more rounded. £3.59 or $5.39. The next one is Holiday Hues. Holiday Hues. There we go. That's what Hugh Grant is, a holiday hue. That's terrible, Becky. Reds and greens in that one. So this is £3.59, $5.39.
I think that's like
minimum of 400.
Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final one is your autumnal hues, which you've just seen. So you've got the orange, the yellow, and almost like a brownie kind of colour here, £3.59 again, £5.39. So that they are really beautiful. Gilmore says, I love your matching hairstyles, Corrine and Becky.
Yeah.
I missed the memo, but I'm glad I brushed my hair. Yeah, I did think that as I was looking over you. I was like, yeah, I've got the same hairstyle today. Yeah,
This is how I had mine last night, but I've washed mine today.
yeah, this morning when we were getting up and getting ready, I hadn't sort of quite clocked the fact that I've got the same hairstyle.
It's fine.
No,
It's fine.
Right, yeah. We do try and make an effort. So what next demo are you going to be doing?
I'm just trying to remember which one I got. See, this is where I keep all my foam. So my foam has come out of the Spring Hues. So you've got all these, oh, there we go, look. All these gorgeous colours in there. So I've used some of those. And so what I've got is I've got some pink and a purple and a lilac. So you can see on there. And we're going to use our wonderful wisteria. So, you know, there's 2 in there. There we go. Don't know why there's 2 in there. And then what I'm going to use is I'm just going to use the 3 larger dies. Now, if you want to, you can use these little ones as well. They make beautiful little berries and things like I did with that ivy one. So I could have used that actually on the ivy one if I'd have wanted to. So, these are nice and new. There we go. Let's peel those off. There we are. There, right. And so what we want to do, I'll do this on this one because these are bigger than 3 inches wide. And again, I can do these all in one go. So all 3 layers, and then we can pop our dies on there like that. Layer that up, pop that through here. So again, because I'm using my original Gemini, and I'm using my junior plate, I probably wouldn't go thicker than 3 layers.
Right.
It will cut, absolutely no problem, but I just find it ends up then taking longer to separate, because if you look at that, that's really flattened. And if you sort of start to, I know there's 3 layers because I've done 3 different colours, and I sometimes find that's quite useful.
Yeah.
When you know they're going to be really well welded together, is to do different colours, because then you can see when you've separated them all. You know, if you've got like 4 or 5 layers of the same colour, sometimes you can't tell when you've got to when you finally separated them. So yeah, there is so much pressure in this die cutting machine. Where's my poke tool? But you know, all you need to do, there we go, just grab it and do. But when you put it onto the heat, because I'm going to use the craft iron, when you put it onto the heat, it will separate them anyway. So just pop those like that. There's one, and then I know that's another one to separate because they're 2 different colours, and that one is going just there. There we go. So I don't know where my thing's gone. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the craft iron again, and I want the fubber. Now I need the small ball tool for this one. Make sure that's. I thought there was some glue on it. Let me just see if I can get that glue off because it keeps catching. It's offish bit. Right, okay, so we're going to get from the larger ones, we're going to put that on, and then we're just going to circle it round and pop it onto here. And as it comes down, I'm just going to grab them and then just roll it round and come onto there. Actually, that one, for that size, that ball tool. But there, so I've got like little, can you see little buds?
Yes.
With a bit of static on. I've never found anything to totally eliminate the static when you're making flowers. You will get static, it's just, it's a fact of doing it. But if you've got a wet wipe like that or a wet cloth at the side of you, sometimes that, you know, just keep your fingers a little bit damp and it will help. So you can see straight away, they will start to shrink. If they're shrinking too much, then just get them off the heat as quickly as you can. So I'm just pressing it down while it sets, and then that will do. Pop that one on, I'm going for the smaller ball tool. Straight away you can see that shrinking, and that's going to go up on to there. And on, there we go. So I thought we'd stick with this looking a bit like wisteria. So if you think of wisteria, it's little flower heads that hang down, isn't it? Yeah. So, you know, you could make it look a bit like buddleia, but there's lots of flowers that have you
yeah,
know.
even in like a yellow, it would look. You could make it look a bit like a broom. You know,
Yes,
they have that kind of look to them as well.
You could make this look like snowdrops really easily.
Oh yes.
You know, it's entirely up to you. Just change the colour that you're going with, and it'll change the look. So you know, it might be called wisteria, but a snowdrop is not that much different.
No. I love wisteria. I think it looks so pretty around on buildings.
Yes.
But it's apparently it's very bad for the foundations of the building and very bad for the brickwork. So we're not allowed it at home.
My next door neighbour but one's got it growing up this side of her house, but she's just has it it must be in some sort of a trough. Doesn't seem to be in the floor, but I don't know, so I don't know how it grows so big.
No.
So once I've got to there, I would then just grab my stamens. So I actually have a bag just of stamens that I just keep so I can grab them. I'm going to go with a single stamen. I know I said normally I work in multiples, but for this I'm going to go with a single stamen, cut it in half. I'm only going to do this to the smallest ones. Poke your tool through the middle and then grab one of my stamens, like I did with those berries, pop that through. Now you can have this hanging out as much or as little as you want, so we can have it quite fuchsia-esque with the stamens hanging out. Once you've got it to where you want it to be, just hold it tight, then grab the glue gun and just put the smallest amount of glue you can get your glue gun to dispense just on the bottom there, and then just leave that to dry, just like that. And then what you'll end up with, look at this. This was a half hour I spent making lots and lots of these. So you can see I've got plenty of those now. So I've got lots of all the different sizes. So it's all about popping those in there. Let's just pop those out of the way for a minute because I need my card base, because I'm going to construct the head of the wisteria directly onto my card. So it's a bit like the one that you were showing that was a little bit damaged. So this is how that one was made. Card base. So I've just got cardstock. Another really good tip when you're doing your cardstock is rather than put pattern straight onto coloured card, put white card in between.
Right.
Really makes it pop.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you go straight from a pattern paper onto coloured cardstock, you don't get the impact as much. Whereas if you put the white on, you do. So let me go, making sure that my flowers are hanging down the right way. Let's put that on there.
Gareth says, where did you get your little iron from?
My craft iron?
Yeah.
I've had that since I started flower making 5 or 6 years ago, just off the internet. It wasn't anywhere fancy. Is it the Sticks 2 one? I think it is. Craig and I both use quite a lot of stuff from Sticks 2.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't actually do a craft iron, but have a look at Sticks 2, but you can probably pick it up in most places.
Yeah.
Online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then I put some foam on the back of here. So I've just used my inverted zigzag circle. I think that's the right name.
Yeah.
I think that's the right name. I have a box of dies on my desk. So we can do that there. And I've already pre-stamped my sentiment on the bottom. So we can pop that on to there, just like that. So it's just showing that through there. And then, oh dear, we can just start to make this up. So what I'm going to do, it's amazing how many...
Look at all of those flowers. Look at all of those flowers.
Happy, isn't it?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Now, what I've done is I've just used a couple of little bits of the foliage. So that's from the autumn leaves. So you can just see I've just done those. We're going to put those in a minute. Now, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on there. Then I did want more than that, but my glue sticks run out. And I'm going to pop a couple on there. Let me get another glue stick. I knew I'd use a lot of glue. That's one thing you do go through when you're doing your flowers is plenty of glue. Let's put another glue stick in.
Lillian Kwok says a cordless glue gun would be a great addition to Crafters Companion's range of tools. I think that would be a great idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Cordless would be good.
I used to have a cordless one.
Really?
Yeah, I used to use it when I first started doing it on my shows. The only thing with that was a cordless one does tend to take a little bit longer to heat up.
Right.
That initial ooh, that was hot, that, you know, initial heat up. Once they're up and running, they're great, but you just have to be a little bit more organised. So I'm going to pop a couple on there. Then we're just going to, sometimes it's easier just with the tweezers. So all I do is just grab the ends so that I've got, that curves that, and then you can put a little bit of glue and I can pop that and then just give it a little bit of a squidge in. So with this, the best thing you can do is really push them together. So I want one that size now, and then this one would work quite well with tacky glue. If you're happy with the shape of your petals, you could do tacky glue on here and just sort of put, you know, a nice run of tacky glue down. You can't do it with your hot glue, because with the best will in the world, by the time you've come to put them, you know, pick them up and shape them, your hot glue will have dried. Yeah. So you have, with the hot glue, you've got to individually glue each one. So we can, you see how it's starting to build up?
I can, yeah.
And then let's go for another largish one. There we are. I'd probably say one of the things I do most is really try, oops, I've got my finger in the tweezers, is really try and, can you see, push everything tightly together. I don't know, I just like how it looks when you do that.
It makes it look more natural, doesn't it? Because that's sort of how it is. When you think of wisteria, there's a lot of petals, a lot of blooms in a kind of, it's almost like a teardrop effect, isn't it, when you get from wisteria?
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing to say you can't put the same colour next to each other more than once. I tend to try to not to. And we can pop that one in there. Then as I'm going, I might just add in the occasional little one. Let's just cut off a bit more of that. And then we can pop a little bit of that one and just pop that in there. What I'm going to do is at the top, I will keep going with this one, but what I'm going to do at the top is I'm going to pop a bow on the top bit. That's going to go right at the very top, and then I'm going to pop some foliage tucking out of there. Can you see, just like that? Just mindful, we've got about 10 minutes left and we're going to have to do a vote, so I'll see how far I can get with this. It's not the quickest process, but it really, I can always carry on with it and you'll get the gist of where we're going. So we can pop that on there. There we go. So you can see that's going to be the top. Yeah. Let's just keep adding more flowers and see where we can get.
It really is quite fascinating. I think lots of people watching are just, it's one of those things that just totally absorbing watching you make these flowers. It is very much like colouring. It is, you know.
I think for me, what's so fascinating is when you look at that, looks very pretty, but there is nothing, you can't see where it's going always. You know, that's just a lot of petals, but it's not until you start to put them together that you go, oh wow, that's actually turning into a flower head, you know. I mean, you could stop almost there. We're going to go a little bit further on, but you know, you can go as far or as, you know, big or as small as you want. We're going to come down, so that's what, you know, you've got sentiment stamped on already. But can you see you couldn't do this in advance? It has to go directly onto the card.
Yeah.
Let's just then keep adding in a couple of the little ones as well.
What's your favourite flower?
My favourite flower? I am partial to a sweet pea.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never been able to make a sweet pea that in foam that I've been happy with. But that's probably one of my favourites.
They are so beautiful, but they don't last for very long,
do
they? No.
They last longer on the plant.
Yeah.
I like fuchsias because I like the variety. Our anemones, not anemones, that's not the word I was looking for. Hellebores have come up in the garden.
Nice.
And are looking really pretty. They're nice, and they last for ages, especially if you leave them out in the garden. I don't know, I like lots.
I love bleeding hearts.
Yes.
And I bought some seeds a few years ago with blue bleeding hearts.
All right.
And black bleeding hearts and yellow ones as well. So I've got white and pink and purple at home, but I've not actually got round to propagating any of the other ones. But they are my favourite flower. I think they're beautiful.
I had a dahlia named after me when I was a teenager.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I've lost track of it. I can't. It's yellow. It's quite an autumnal colour one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My grandparents did a lot in horticulture.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had a lot to do with it. So yeah, I've said before, we had the Queen Mum come and walk round Granny's garden and do stuff like that. So
That's amazing.
Yeah. We spent all our summers down there. It was lovely. It was absolutely idyllic. If people know the area, it was in Cookham.
Oh, yes, yeah, because we've talked about it before, because I went to college not far from there.
Yeah, beautiful place idyllic place to grow up as a child. And we basically, you know, we did do that. Yeah, loved it. But yeah, I've lost the dahlia, which is such a shame. And I've tried to find the nursery that I knew created it, but I can't find it.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah, because that would be nice to have in the garden.
Oh yeah, definitely. I always think it's quite nice when it's you could get roses, can't you? They were named like happy anniversary or happy birthday and things like that, which are quite nice. So you can have those sort of dotted around the garden. My mother-in-law's got an amazing rose garden in her garden, but you know, it's loads of different roses and really smelly ones, because often roses now don't smell very much, but these are sort of really strong.
Well, Granny and Grandad used to have 500 roses and 500 dahlias.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And then we used to go, one of the things we did when we were down there was help them with open the gardens to the public every year. So yeah, it was good fun.
Wow.
It was fun. I used to enjoy it. I think there you go. All of a sudden, and doesn't that work, just putting those little ones on the bottom?
Yeah.
There we go. I better stop there because we need to do a vote. But I think I could just play with that. But doesn't that look beautiful? I'm going to turn that round and show you there. Oh, let me come back a little bit so Charlotte can get it. But how about like that?
Lovely. Yeah,
Isn't that pretty?
Really impressive. And like you say, you just need to put all of those flowers together, really bunch them together to get that effect. That is stunning. And so that is from our flower forming foam die selection. And we should do vote for the show. Do you want to get your makes together?
Okay, right.
Because well, it's going to be really difficult to choose, I think, as always.
It's pretty. It's a pretty makes today.
Yeah.
So I think if I remember rightly, I started on this one with that flower. So you know, we use the flower we use the dye to make the flower and the foliage, and then we used it to make the embossed background. So that's number one. Put that one there. Number two was where we used the dye to make a stencil, and then we cut some out as well. So that was number 2. So that's going to go on there. Then number 3 was the ivy. So Terry asked how the ivy was made, and that's how we made the ivy. Number 3. Number 4 was how to repurpose a card that you might have. Number 4. And number 5 was, I'll bring it there so you can see, was the wisteria. There we go. 5, 4, 3, there we go, 2 or 1.
Wow.
What a lovely right of colour.
That's going to be very difficult to choose. So do get your votes in so we can see which one is the winner. Janine says, I love bleeding hearts. Obviously the flower, not real bleeding hearts. Teresa says, I've always loved lily of the valley and daffodils. Oh, yes. I do. And especially now, daffodils are so prolific at the moment. You can pick up great big bunches of them for like £1. And they're the flowers that I often have at home because they last quite a long time and they were super cheap.
I had some last week and they lasted a couple of days. I was really disappointed.
Oh, only a couple of days. That's disappointing.
But the roses I had for Valentine's Day lasted 3.5 weeks.
Wow, that's impressive.
I was really impressed with that.
Flowers for Valentine's Day? I didn't get flowers for Valentine's Day. I don't remember. Oh, one rose that looked like it would run over.
Oh, Nicola.
I remember someone, in sort of cities, sometimes you get people sort of selling you roses. Yes. And I'd been out with a boy and he bought one of these roses and I took it and was walking around on the underground with it. He said, does it smell nice? And I looked at it and it was silk. It was a fake rose. Very disappointing. So I had to pretend it smelled delicious. We have got First Look coming up a little bit later while we're getting your votes in. And I've got a few samples over here which I thought I'd show you. I'm not going to show you loads.
Now, have you?
But we're going to have a little, I have had a little look. I'm not looking at the actual product though. I'm averting my eyes. I'm just looking at the samples because these are absolutely beautiful. So this is your Once Upon a Time, which you're going to see at first look later on today.
Now it's launching tomorrow on Hobby Maker.
Right.
And Tuesday here with Sarah.
Wow. And it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it is, the colours, Sugar Plum Fairy is what shouts out to me. All those sort of frosted pinks, purple colours, really, really pretty. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that card with the little book. Isn't that amazing?
Look at the couple dancing, aren't they beautiful?
That is absolutely stunning. So we're going to be showing you a first look at that a little bit later, but I do have a great big box of samples and we've got lots and lots of different products on there. Let's have a look. Demo of the show. It was very spread out, apparently, the votes.
All right.
Because couldn't decide, but it is my favourite, which is number one.
Number one.
Number one, well done. They are all beautiful, and I think that is shown by the fact that nobody could make a decision. They are really stunning designs. So well done. And I think we've learned a great deal about all that flower forming foam because I've seen people demonstrating it before, but actually your idea about sort of heating the edges is something that I'll sort of take with me and not cutting so many. So I've tried to do 5 or 6 layers of white in one go.
Yeah.
And then I'm there for ages trying to move it. But you just say if you heated it up, then they do sort of separate a little bit.
They do a bit. If you put it onto the iron, it will.
Yeah.
But you can't always guarantee it. So it is better. I just think you'll spend less time in the long run doing fewer layers and separating them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Now, do remember we do have our bag grab promotion on at the moment. So if you go to the website and you click on Lily on that homepage, you will see that there's 3 different options of bags that you can have. If you buy any 3 pens for £20, any 15 stamps for £40, and any 10 dies for £60, but they're only the ones that are in that sort of section on there. And do remember everything that you purchase today until midnight is going to give you double points as well. So it's a great opportunity for you to sort of build your goodie bag. Perhaps you've got a voucher that you've received for Mother's Day and you want to spend it. Definitely have a look there because there are some real good bargains on that site for you to have a look at. And of course, we've got plenty more bargains for you later on today on Second Chance Sunday, which is going to be on at 6 p.m. With all the deals. We've got lots of sort of soft craft deals on there as well as paper craft too. So I do hope you've enjoyed the show. I hope you've learnt a lot. I have, and I'm pretty sure that my mum's going to be on the phone asking me to buy all the things that she's just seen Corrine doing, which is pretty much what happens every time I'm on the show. Yeah, they're absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to get my dies out next week when I've got a bit of time off and have a go at making some more flowers. So thank you very much for joining us. We will be back at 2 p.m. with First Look.
Thank you.